everyone, it's Cassie and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is just a very chill July wrap up. I had quite a good reading month in July. I read 5 books, which is a lot for me lately. I haven't read 5 books since January, so very proud of myself for that. Part of it was because I went on vacation and I read 2 books on vacation for a week. Hopefully I can continue that for the next few months, but I know I won't because I'm not going to be reading that much in September and October. But hopefully maybe in August. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and give it a big thumbs up. Both of those mean the absolute world to me. My Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, and Amazon wishlist are linked in the description box below if you're interested in checking any of those out. Let's get into wrap up. So the first book that I read in July is We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. This is the 3rd and final book in the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy. Don't know, I read the first 2 books in June and this one in July, and I watched the show in June and I did a vlog and I've already posted that, so I will make sure to link it down below and in the cards, whatever side it is. I go more in depth with my thoughts there. There's no spoilers. This book I gave 4 stars. I quite enjoyed it. Was not my favorite, but it wasn't my least favorite, I guess. The first one is about Belly, and she goes to this summer house at Cousins Beach every single year. Her brother and her mom, and then her mom's best friend Susanna and Susanna's 2 boys. They go to this beach house every summer and spend the summer together, and Belly has a crush on the one brother, and it starts to become like a love triangle between them. The love triangle is more in the 2nd and 3rd book, I would say. It's a little bit in the 1st. This one's, and she's in a relationship with someone and some drama happens. If you want to know more what it's about, watch that vlog. But I enjoyed this, but there was some boring parts. It definitely could have been shorter, which is funny because it's literally 296 pages or something. But there's parts in the middle that could be taken out and given to the ending, because the very ending, the last chapter, is like 3 pages and it's like in the future. I guess this one's technically like 2 or 3 years after the first book, and then at the end of this book there is like another 5 or something years in the future, and it wraps up super quickly, so they could have taken some of the pages from the middle and put them at the end. It was pretty good. I enjoyed this whole trilogy and I enjoyed the show, so I would recommend, and I know why this has so much love. I think I definitely would have probably liked them each more if I read them when I was younger, but I still really enjoyed them, so they're still really cute. But I feel like this would be my everything if I read them when I was like 15, 16. The next book I read, I don't actually have a copy of anymore. I read Layla by Colleen Hoover. My friend read this book. She really liked it, so she asked me if I wanted to read it. So I borrowed it, read it, and I already gave it back. There's Leeds and there's Layla, and they fall in love really, really hard. I don't know why I said it like that. They fall in love really, really hard, and then there is an accident and something happens to Layla that changes kind of the course of their relationship. So they go somewhere to he wants to kind of reconnect, and some weird things start happening. Leeds is kind of awful. I know a lot of people don't like this one very much because Leeds is an awful boyfriend. It is from his perspective. I think it's supposed to seem like it's okay that he's awful. I don't know. He's awful, but it's okay because blah blah blah. But he's just kind of awful, so that takes part of, I think that's what puts a bad taste in everyone's mouths about this book. And it did have an effect on me, but I didn't let it super ruin the book because I did enjoy most of the rest of the book. The beginning was kind of slow. I don't know how to describe it, but the beginning was low-key a little boring at some points. Then I was like kind of creeped out for a bit, and then I enjoyed it, and then there was Leeds being a bad boyfriend, and then yeah, the ending. But the ending was really crazy, really good, so I gave it a 3.5. I feel like more of a 3.5. I'm not gonna give very many books 3 or less stars. I've given more books 3 stars this year than I think ever and all of last year, because 3 stars isn't bad. It's over 50%. It doesn't really take a lot for me to give a book 4 stars. Most books I read are 4 stars because I just like enjoy them enough. But this one I feel like wasn't on the same level as a lot of the 4-star books that I read, just because it is a romance, and he's like, I don't want to give anything away, but he's just like a really bad boyfriend. It's less romancy for me, but there is parts that aren't romance to it as well. So I think I did a really bad job at describing that one, but my thoughts on it are kind of scattered, and they kind of depend on knowing the twist. So then I went on vacation and I read 2 different books. So the first book that I finished was The Counselors by Jessica Goodman. I loved this book. So this is about Camp Alpine Lake, and this is YA mystery, by the way. So this is about Camp Alpine Lake, and it is this camp that's really expensive. It is for the rich, but it's set just outside of this really small town. There is kind of this thing where no one that's local goes to that camp except for one girl, which is our main character, and I can't think of her name now, Goldie, because going there for free. So they had gone there for most of their lives since they could. I think you have to be like 8 or something to go there, and so they grew up there as campers, and now they're counselors, and this is the summer after their grade 12 year. Goldie has 2 best friends, and there is this dynamic between them that we see, the ups and the downs of friendship, keeping secrets from your friends, because Goldie went through a big traumatic thing during the school year that she never told her friends about. Someone is found dead in the lake. The drama and conspiracies begin. I really like this. If you don't know, I really like YA mysteries. I think they're fun. If you don't like the YA-ness of some of YA mysteries, this has some of it. They still make stupid decisions. There's like boy issues and stuff, but I mean, people that are adults have that, so but they are like 18 and stuff, so they're a little bit older on the YA end of things. I did kind of get spoiled because someone put it on their Goodreads review, like the top Goodreads review. So if you do that, you're kind of the worst, because why are you ruining this for people? PSA, put the word spoiler or cover it up with spoiler in your Goodreads review when you put a spoiler in there. That's what they're for. I only kind of spoiled it because I didn't really know how it was going to work out, so I still really enjoyed this, that I went and bought the 2 other books that are already out by Jessica Goodman, which one I already had wanted and the other I already kind of had wanted, so it just worked out. So I got them, but I got them in paperback and this one's in hardback, so that's the only thing. But this was 5 stars, really enjoyed it. I think it was my favorite read of the month. Then my mom and I read Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So we drove to my vacation, and it is a decent drive away. So we listened to this on the way there and on the way back. This follows Daisy Jones and the Six, who were previously just Daisy Jones the Sixth. I think it technically starts in the 60s, but it's mainly in the 70s. The Six is a band that's doing well, and Daisy Jones is this she's kind of like a socialite-ish. At the beginning of the book, she's dating all these people. She's going to all the bars and clubs, and she's known because of that stuff, but she wants to get into music, and I think she does a full album before she's with the Six, and then they do a song together because this producer thinks they'll do great together, and this song does great together, so they end up combining. This deals with a lot of different topics. There's drug addiction, there's cheating, there's like different romances. We'll just go with that. There's a few different romances, but they're not huge, like they're not the main part of the book. This is done in an interview based style, so like they're talking and describing it, so it's kind of like one of those I forgot what they're called, but like the TV shows where they interview people and they talk about like the band or whatever. This is in hindsight. We follow them all through the 70s, and then there is in the future as well a little bit. The highs and lows of being in a really popular band at this time. Here's the thing. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars, but I was going into this hoping it would be like my next favorite book, and it just is not even close. It just was kind of boring at parts and somewhat repetitive at parts, so that was the main thing that brought it down for me. They repeat, like, they do this one night and then they do this again another night and they do this another night, blah blah blah. That it was kind of boring, and they write an album during this, and that part was repetitive, really repetitive. That it was boring. It just wasn't all I hoped it to be. I have read Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I think I maybe liked it better. The beginning of it was a little boring, but the end of it made up for it. It was also a 4-star, so I haven't gotten my Taylor Jenkins Reid 5-star love her absolutely amazing book yet, but she's been good so far. But I'm reading 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo in August. I'm hoping that will be the one. Maybe I just don't want to give her a 5-star. I don't know. We will see. But this was good, but unfortunately not a new favorite. But I would recommend reading it with the audiobook. I am really excited for the adaptation of this. I don't remember if it's a movie or TV show, but I think it'll be better in that, which is crazy, but because I normally like the books better, but I feel like it'll just be better for me, at least in that format instead. The final book that I read in July, have I been saying August? The final book that I read in July is The Night Swim by Megan Golden. Finally, because I feel like I've had this for a long time, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4-star. This is what I mean with my rating scale just kind of being off, because this was better than this, but they're both 4 stars. But that also has to do with me not really doing 0.5 stuff. This one's following a podcaster named Rachel, and she is going to the town of Neapolis to cover a rape trial that is happening there. She does a true crime podcast. The first season she got someone out of jail, and I don't remember what happened in the second season. Maybe that was the second season. So people are really anticipating the 3rd season, so she's trying to find a really good case to cover. So she is going there to cover the case, but she goes there a few days earlier and she starts getting messages and notes from someone trying to ask her to look into the death / possible murder of their sister from like 20-something years ago, 25 years ago. No one seems to want to answer questions about this possible murder. They say that the girl drowned and that was it. So she starts reluctantly looking into this case. I really liked this. I listened to the audiobook as well because of the podcast elements, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know that I really needed to. I feel like I could have just read it physically, but I still liked it, and I think I read it faster because of that. It's a quick audiobook. So this book has like a lot of heavy topics. Like I mentioned, it's covering a rape trial, so definitely look up trigger warnings before you read this if you're ever triggered on anything that could have to do with true crime or anything like that, just because there is a lot of hard topics in here, but I don't want to give away all of them just because some of them are spoilers for the end. The only reason this isn't getting 5 stars is don't go into this thinking it's a thriller. I think I kind of did. Not super thrillery, but that it would be a little creepier than it ended up being, just because I feel like I don't know why, I feel like I heard someone say that this creeped them out or it like kind of scared them, but I could be wrong. It's just really just a mystery, but it has a lot of hard topics and it is really interesting. Just don't expect to be like scared or like thrilled, because it's not slow, but it is slow. if you're going in there thinking it's a thriller, it's gonna be really slow. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I finally got to it, and I'll probably read some of her books in the future. I know she has one coming out, but I haven't heard the best things about it yet, so we'll see. These are the 5 books that I read in July. I just have a placeholder for Layla. I think I had a really good reading month. Nothing was super bad. This was my favorite. I don't know what would be my least favorite. I want to say Daisy Jones and the Six, just because it was a little bit of a disappointment, but it wasn't my least favorite. But I think just part of it being disappointing was my least favorite. I don't really know that I had a super like least favorite book. They were all quite good and I enjoyed them for different reasons, so I think that's a win for me. I think that's everything for this wrap up, so make sure to comment down below what you read in July, what your thoughts on them were. Would love to hear it. And if you've read any of the books that I read in July, let me know what your thoughts on them were. Definitely want to hear that as well. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe and give it a big thumbs up. Both those would mean the absolute world to me. My Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, and Amazon wishlist will be linked in the description box below if you're interested in checking any of those out. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!